All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen. So today is Thursday, so basically August 27, and we have the really powerful Q&A session with the Li Jian, with the CEO of Aevos, and that's a pretty great because Li Jian, he kindly approved, yeah, like to make the basically the Q&A session for the strike team, and basically everyone can join, everyone can check that what the platform is provide, and that's a pretty powerful because for today we have so many different protocols, and today we're gonna find out what's the difference we have in Aevos. So guys, we already prepared the questions, but if somebody will gonna have something interested, you can drop that in the chat, and if CEO he will gonna have the time, he will gonna answer that as well. Yes, so like Li Jian, our Mr. CEO, really glad that you find the time today. And of course, like so, just we're gonna start to provide for you that what we prepared, and we hope to receive the answer. So like, thanks a lot for your time. That's first of all what we just want to say.
Yeah, thank you, my friend. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. This is a fantastic opportunity. This is something that I've passionately worked on for, I don't know, let's say 10, 12 years. And I think this is going to change a lot of lives. So I'm very excited to talk to
Yeah,
everybody about it.
that's perfect. So guys, we have like the room for the 500 people. So like definitely if you have somebody to invite, you can do that. Yeah, so like we're gonna admit the people right now while the Zoom. And we have the questions. Yeah, so like the please CEO, just let us know, like of course, first of all, tell us about yourself. Yeah, so like your background, and of course, yeah, so like what inspired you to create Avis?
Well, I grew up in a ordinary family with no connection to investing or advanced technology. I did not have a ready-made path into a financial industry. The financial industry is a huge gatekeeping industry. It's a lot of nepotism there. So, I didn't have a lot of like a big network of people who could guide me through it. So basically, I had to teach myself programming, digital product development, financial markets through just actual work, so through working, through losing, through winning, through all of that, making a lot of mistakes. And I've never been satisfied with just simply using somebody's finished product. Maybe it's a little bit of an ego thing. I want to make something for myself. I want to be my own man. So I want to understand what is happening inside the system. Why does it work? And maybe, the instruments that you are using are not perfect. Maybe they could be better. If you blindly like using the same thing, yeah, you will never know. So the cryptocurrency market, first interested me from a technical perspective, and over time I moved to studying it and to investing my own money in it. So I experienced both very successful periods and, of course, unsuccessful trades. That experience showed me how much emotions can influence you when you're trading. Well, and not only like negative emotions, not only when you are losing and you are frustrated and whatever, but also positive emotions. So if you are winning, if you're trading emotionally, you cannot win basically, because all over long term, Avis is all about long term. So if you are influenced by positive emotions, the same thing happens. You grow overconfident. You maybe overstate your position. It's just gonna get ridiculous. So the first ideas behind Avis actually came from trying to solve that problem for myself, because I began to breaking the trading process into separate parts. I, was receiving market data, identifying signal, addressing risk, executing trade, recording outcome, and it was all done kind of by hand with a lot of different people without, before AI really advanced so much. Now it's all done with separate agents for everything, but we kind of used that system even long before AI was a thing. So gradually, a collection of personal tools, developed into a concept, like into a complete platform where automation removes emotion. So I don't know how much of your questions have I answered already, but that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. I see like people just post that my sound is echoing. Let me just maybe try to check change. Yeah, so like this one is better. This one is better, or maybe like just I can just switch another microphone. Like just let me know. Could you hear me right now? It's echoing or no? Better? Guys, put in the chat number 10 if it's better, so I can see that.
I think I need to turn off my own microphone when you were speaking. So I'm gonna do that. Yeah,
Maybe,
okay.
maybe. Let me change because, like, I think it's better. I'm just not sure why it's no, right now. It's not echoing. I think like that's because from your side it was turned it on. That's why it's echoing. So right now it's better. Yeah, but like I think it's most important for the people to understand in the simple, like in the simple way, what Aevos and like Aevos. I think the correct name gonna be Aevos is about. Yeah, because so many guys they even didn't heard like sometimes about cryptocurrency, right? They completely new. So maybe you can just provide like in the simple words what it's all about.
Yeah. In simplest terms, Avis, and that's correct pronunciation, brother, you're right. It's a platform that handles the difficult parts of trading. Market analysis, risk control, trade execution. If you've known traders, I've known traders all of my life pretty much. They have very bad sleep. They're always nervous. They always are trying to not miss a trade, whatever. So basically, AI handles that part. So a user chooses an amount and a term ranging from 20 to 90 days, then allocates that capital to the Convergence Protocol. We have several. First one is Convergence. From that moment, the system operates around the clock. It's monitoring the market, identifying opportunities, and opening trades only when they meet established risk rules. So, you can imagine someone who is interested in the cryptocurrency, let's say, but doesn't want to wake up at night, doesn't want to ruin his sleep because Bitcoin is moving or whatever, or spend the entire day watching multiple charts and go insane. That person wants exposure to the market, wants the biggest opportunities still, yeah, but understands that emotion and that lack of time can be costly. Some people are, going on drugs, excuse me, right, to not sleep for several days. It's ridiculous. So Avis is being built for exactly that kind of user. So you prioritize your health and time spent with your family. So you don't need to be a professional trader. You don't need to study charts for hours or try to predict the market's next move in order to use Avis. Okay, automation does not mean giving up control. In a dashboard, you still can see open closed positions, entry exit prices, financial results, and every fee charged. And even right now, if you go to the website, you can go out there and see all the history. Okay, it doesn't just start when you're investing, whatever. We see all the history, all the previous trades, all the losses, all the days maybe that ended on a minus. We are all transparent about that. So minimum allocation is $10, and it's obviously, no one is expected to buy a yacht or a helicopter with $10, but we deliberately made the entry point accessible so that someone, can first experience the product with a small amount and then decide whether to increase their capital.
Okay,
That's pretty
yeah,
much it. Yeah.
that's perfect. Yeah, so like you can just mute the microphone because I'm here that I'm echoing. Okay, yeah, so like that's really cool because AI definitely is the trend for the 2026. The same, I'm like really confident that it's going to be the trend for the 2027. And I think that question which we have the next, yeah, like from the guys is the really important that about that how basically your AI is works because like as that what we've seen you have like four different agents so like and that works together so maybe you can provide more briefly yeah, like more deeper in that how basically that works.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. So, you know, to us, artificial intelligence is not just a marketing label or a machine that supposedly predicts the market without error. That is impossible. Oh, of course, no technology can know the future. It serves a different purpose at Avis. It processes large volumes of market data quickly, compares different signals, and makes disciplined decisions without fear, greed, excitement, or fatigue or anything. Again, as I told you, not only negative emotions can affect your trades badly, positive also. And we have four specialized agents that operate at the core of the Convergence Protocol. Okay, the signal agent looks for potential trading opportunities by analyzing price movements, volume, and market structure. The sentiment agent then examines the broader picture and determines whether market conditions support the signals, right? The risk agent enters the process next. Its job is to prevent the system from opening a position when the potential risk is too high. And only after that every check has been passed by all the previous three agents, then the execution agent selects the entry point, manages the positions, and records the result. So each agent has a specific responsibility. Yeah. This system kind of existed before, but it was so much slower when people were doing it. And now it's just like AI was made for it, basically. So yeah, and the trade appears only when the results of the analysis converge. And this is where the name comes in, Convergence Protocol. So that's it.
That's cool. That's cool. That's your great answer. Just like microphone. Okay, thank you. So guys, I see the questions in the chat. Believe me, we have all of that questions in the list, right? Once we're gonna go through all of that questions, you're gonna add something in the chat if that's gonna be important. Yeah, so like that what we have next, it is of course, yeah, about the different platforms. Yeah, so like Li Jian, we have right now for today, I think a lot of the different offers on the market, like from the different companies, from the different projects. And the question is, of course, like how Aevos is unique, right? How it's different from everything on the market today. Yeah, because like some people also trying to provide something with AI, and how Aevos is different.
Yeah, that's a great question. I love talking about that. Unfortunately, we don't have 15 hours for me to explain. But real quick, many products in the market describe themselves as AI platforms. Many use AI in marketing label, but often it just hides a conventional just trading bot, a single set of indicators, or a closed system whose results the user cannot examine. I mean, for example, when you are asking ChatGPT a question, you cannot pause his thinking. You can only stop it. You cannot pause and it's a closed system. So we took a different approach with Aevos. So instead of entrusting everything to one model, we separated the process among several specialized agents: opportunity detection, market context analysis, risk assessment, and execution. They are not blended into a single decision. Okay, some of them can say yes, and if one agent says no, it's still a no total because it needs to be a convergence, right? So as a result, the system does not depend on any one signal or any one potential point of failure. You know what I mean? So technology is not the only thing that matters to the user, right? People also need to understand what is happening with their money, because transparency is the most important thing. You are in this industry a long time, me as well, and you know what kind of stuff other companies offer, how they are, ended in 6 months or whatever. And we put transparency first and stability above everything else. So our revenue model is also straightforward. When there's no positive result, Aevos does not earn a performance fee. The platform and the user are therefore working toward the same outcome. And we also don't want the product to be limited to professional traders or large investors. Like I said, someone can begin with as low as $10, which is insane. Understand how the system works, and then decide whether this format is right for them. Look at all the numbers, all the transparency, and everything on your dashboard. It's the most beautiful thing. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And that's actually the next question which I want to ask. And like I see basically that the question, it's the same in the chat. Yeah, because that's what everybody wants to know, right? So we know that a lot of the platforms, they provide the passive income, right? Like, a lot of them, they work with AI. And unfortunately, yeah, so like many of them just like come and go, right? They just disappear after the few months. So I know that like so many guys been burned. Yeah, like, not just my team, but also other people. And of course, like, when the people check a new opportunity, they want to hear directly from the CEO why basically this one is sustainable, why this one is long term, why this one is not another rack pool, right? Which is gonna be like, after the 2, 3 months or like whatever, and why it's gonna be around. Yeah. So like basically what you can answer for that.
That's a great question, and it actually separates someone with a lot of experience. So yeah, and being skeptical about investment projects is not only reasonable, it's required, I think, of any smart investor in 2026. I believe that is exactly how people should behave when their money is involved. And the money is not only like the opportunity to make more, it's sometimes their whole livelihood and their families and all of that stuff. So I entered this industry as a user myself. And I remember this feeling, when you see a beautiful website, like numbers are convincing, the great deal of complex languages going on. You don't understand half of it. But there's no answer to like what exactly is happening, like exactly what is happening. And this is why I do not treat difficult questions as like any form of distrust. You know what I mean? Like, I know that these questions show that someone takes their capital very seriously, and we want to work with these kind of people. We want them to be kings and queens of their respective maybe regions, or we want, right now the investment is capped at 100,000, and we already have received several, demands to increase it to 1 million because because we have huge investors. And I would advise people when you're coming in to a new platform, it doesn't matter Aevos or any other platform, you need to find out who's behind the product, how the company earns money. You need to look at the numbers, look at the history, right? And whether the movement of funds can be traced, yeah? And what happens during the withdrawal. Like if a company only shows attractive figures and promises guaranteed profit or pressures you to deposit quickly, and all of those are kind of red flags, to be honest. So for us, trust is something we take very seriously. It's not just a slogan or whatever. We don't want to build like another black box that you cannot look into, that would just present some attractive numbers on the screen, whatever. Avis should feel like a glass cockpit. Users do not have to control every movement manually, but they can always see what the system is deciding. What is it doing with the, and we have built a profit system where we only profit from positive days. So we don't take any withdrawal fees or anything like that. So it's in our interest to have the whole capital performing really well in the long term, because there's sometimes losses. You can look at we document everything. We have a history. Everything is there. All the losses, all the wins, and sometimes days end at like 51% wins. We don't say like, oh, we won like 90% of the time, anything ridiculous. We are 100% honest with everybody. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So you basically answer some of the questions which was on my list. I see somebody raise the hand, guys. Like we finish, yeah. So like with the questions, you can put your questions in the chat. We'll not unmute people, like on this session. So yeah, so like that's the next what we have. Yeah. So like right here, it is of course about the risks, right? About the risk management, about that, how basically you protect the funds. And can you just explain about that? Because like we understand that, of course, like every opportunity which is going with the trading is include the risk, but like what you use for the protection. Yeah, let's say because some of the people they put the money, like we put the money into the platform, and how we can be confident that that one is not going to be like, let's say, liquidated like on the exchange or something like that.
Yeah, great question. Like I said, it's a convergence protocol, so it involves 4 agents all saying yes. It cannot be 3 agents saying yes and one saying no. Okay, so during periods of severe volatility, the main objective at Aevos is not to make money at any cost, but to keep the risk under control. Because we always think more in line of next 5 years. Um, rather than like, let's show the biggest numbers we can this week and then cash out and then disappear. So sometimes the best trade is not where you won a lot, is where you didn't lose a lot. You know what I mean? Like if the system decides not to do a trade, that may be the best decision of this day, right? Because it could have been a huge risk or a huge loss. So before entering a position, the risk agent evaluates its size, the overall exposure to the capital, and its relationship to positions that are already open. For example, if we have several positions, I don't know, like $100, the risk agent would not allow to open a huge position, worth like $200,000, right? Because that is not in line with other. We would rather have several small ones, diversification, right? So if a market is moving too sharply or there's not enough data to make a reliable decision, the signal is rejected. So, of course, no system can eliminate losses entirely, but our task is to make sure that one event, one error, one unlucky position cannot put the entire capital at risk.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
like, and also like, I think that's the some addition to this question because people anyway, like, always asking about the risks, right? And what is the biggest risk with Avis? Like, I was gonna ask straightforward, is it possible to lose the money?
That's a great question. Most important point is that in this position, this is diversified into so many different things, right? So risk agent evaluates every position and it looks so it's not much bigger than anything else. So if you look at the history, you actually can see the strategy really well because you see some positions wins, some losses, wins, losses, wins, losses, and you see the amounts, right? And we have a lot of losses as well every day, a lot of losses, right? But we have just a bit more wins, yeah? And there are no losses that are greater than anything that is practically negligible, right? We look at so the four agents, they look at the positions that are trading right now, everything that the money that's invested somewhere, the deals that we are waiting the results of. We look at all of that and then it decides maybe let's not invest. Maybe let's not even do a deal at all. So AI decides that. And we have a team of traders that looks at all this and calibrates it. So for example, even if all the four agents kind of go overboard, they're designed specifically to not go crazy, right? But even if they are kind of, are near that risk threshold, then the humans come in and stop it. Even before it starts trading, even if we see like a tendency to that. So it makes losses every day, but they're so small and this has been so far each month been overcompensated by the wins. So no risk is so huge that you can lose all your money. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. And like also with some addition to this question, it is of course about the longevity, right? Because everyone, yeah, like, me, like every person who just like searching for the passive income, like we want long-term platform, we want long-term protocol to work with. And like you as the founder and the CEO, what gives you confidence, right? And like what gives you like ideas which you can provide for us, why this is the long-term business, why this is the long-term platform where people can make the passive income.
Yeah, the thing is, what gives me the biggest confidence is that the interests of Aevos are directly connected to the user result. Yeah. We, many of the platforms in the market, you've been in this business a long time, you can, you can second that, that they have pretty much like withdrawal fees. They have maybe, like investment fees, like 10% here, 8% there, whatever. So practically, when you're acting like a bank, like if you invested this much, just 10% is ours. Okay, like what is your interest to make me more money then? If you're gonna get like 8% of 10,000 anyway. Of course, you make a little bit better if it becomes 11,000, but still, and we eliminated that. From the very beginning, we made a pretty tough choice to only make money when the whole platform is winning. Okay, again, no withdrawal fees, nothing like that. And then we basically, if it's a loss, we lose money, we don't make money. So this is what we do. And we have built the whole thing so risk averse, right? Sometimes it becomes a little bit boring, to be honest, right? If you have maybe in your team like some hotheads who are waiting crazy numbers, who are ready to like tell me lies, tell me huge numbers. Some addicts. Some people are addicted to drugs. Some people are addicted to like huge wins or to huge lies, right? They will not like this platform because this platform is mostly about 5 years. It's mostly 10 years. We are thinking always about that rather than, oh my God, there's a huge trade. Let's put, $1 million on that. No, let's not. Let's survive another year instead, because $1 million could make a huge dent in us. And it's either a downward spiral where you lose a lot of money. You cannot pay out your investors back. You lose trust. You lose investors. The new investors not coming in, and you're done. Or it's an upward spiral because a lot of people are making money for a long time. The word spreads around. They invite more people, and just you have more capital, you have more profit, and even you can, when you have a lot of capital, you can decrease your risk tolerance even lower, and still you're gonna make huge profits. So that's what we do. We build it into the core of the whole system to be risk averse and sustainable. We have a plan for 5 years, for 10 years, and for 25. To be honest with you, obviously, we don't know if the planet is going to be there in 25 years, if AI is going to kill us all or anything like that. But we, in serious terms, have huge plans long term.
That's great. That's great plans, yeah. And we really hope that that's gonna be delivered because that's what everybody's searching for. Yeah, that's why we're right here. Yeah, so I just test the platform for the months. Yeah, I think the 30 days with my team. So we're satisfied with that what we see about the transparency, about that how the withdrawal works, because it just take 1 second, a few seconds, and that's pretty great. Yeah, to have the instant withdrawals and all of that what you provide, guys, with the blockchain and all of that stuff. But we definitely want to find out more information about your team, right? So it's only you, yeah, who just basically working on the platform. So I assume that should be some people, or you have some team, yeah. So who they are, how public they are. Maybe you can provide some information.
Yeah, sure. Aevos is being developed by Aevos Limited. It's a company that's registered in Hong Kong. You can always see all the documents on the website. So the team itself is distributed. We build it not around a single office or a single face, but around a specific expertise that product really requires. Team includes people who's responsible for platform architecture, for market data processing, specialists in trading models, risk management, security engineers, and an operations group that really works with users and partners. Me personally, I only started showing my face pretty much 2 webinars ago, right? This is still fresh. I might be a little bit rusty in public speaking. Yeah, I might talk too much. I might talk too fast. I don't know. I'm so excited about this. But I'm personally involved in both projects and in development and key technical decisions. So I work particularly close on how data moves through the system and how the protocol limits risk. I'm very passionate about limiting risk. So, honestly, we're not trying to create an impression of being like a huge corporation. To me, a compact team in which every person understands their area of responsibility, not like in huge corporations where you don't see what are you even doing, what that affects the whole result, and you are accountable for the result, and your work is more valuable if it's when it's a small team. So we don't measure quality by the number of features released or by the but only by our ability to create systems that can be trusted with a real operation. So we want to preserve the principle, basically. The technology may be complex, but responsibility with every member of the team should always remain personal, and clear. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's great. That's really great. And of course, so we just also want to find out how transparent, let's say, your company are with the documents, with the licenses, with all of that which you have behind, right? So, like, is it possible for us to check it somehow? Let's say, I don't know, like some license where you register it and so on.
Yeah, the legal foundation of the project is Aevos Limited. It's a company registered in Hong Kong. We publish information about the company and the product is in Aevos's official materials. You can always look it up on the website or go to support or the Telegram channel. So you can look at all that, and we can provide corporate documents to potential partners, so you can do your due diligence. And again, I like people who are actually, I don't take it as a mistrust or anything like that. I know if people are smart, if they're checking us, and first of all, they're gonna they're gonna like what they see. It's very important. They're gonna trust us even more when all the due diligence comes out clear. But for us, corporate transparency does not end with registration documents. Users should also be able to see the history of of their own deposits, withdrawals, trading activity, and settlements. And it's a combination of legal and product transparency that gradually builds trust in the company. So again, all the contacts are like a telegram/avos_org or avos/channel. So all of that, their YouTube channels, all links are on the website.
Oh, that's great. Maybe moderators can just like put it in the chat, guys, if you can do that. So like it's gonna be great so everybody can see that. And yeah, so like that's the really great when you have the transparency, like with the documents, with licenses, and also like what we want to know, it is of course about the security, right? About the security of the platform, how basically you protect it from all of these cyber attacks, from these DDoS attacks, because that's what we see around, right? Like we see the platforms, they work, some of the platforms working good, and after that they just like going out and like they saying, oh, like we have the cyber attack, so we've been hacked or something like that, and platform just going, yeah. So like it's still around, but the money been stolen, or the website is down. So how you basically protect that?
Yeah, with cryptocurrency and with the AI agents are escaping labs and those news every day, it's security is like literally a matter of survival for a product. And Avis works with real digital assets, so we designed its protection around layered defense. So it's a multi-level architecture in which compromising one component, if that even happens, should not provide access to the entire infrastructure, right? So we separated the core platform, the payment service, and the signer, which is the isolated module that signs blockchain transactions. They run in different environments on the separate system users and with minimal permissions required for their roles. Okay, so regular application process cannot read private keys, while a signer itself cannot access the entire user database. So for example, like they build nuclear weapons, right? So they don't have internet access. They're all done, very separately, and specific people with like keys or whatever need to come in down and call the strike if that, hope that never happens, right? So communication, between services cannot be forged with an ordinary request. Critical messages are authenticated with cryptographic signatures, and every financial operation receives a unique identifier. So even the same, if like the same request is sent again because of the network error, the system recognizes it and does not process the transfer twice. Okay, so withdrawals have their own separate layer of protection. Users confirm sensitive actions through two-factor authentication and a PIN number. Right, funds are sent to verified addresses, and individual and daily limits restrict the potential scale of damage. So again, at the same time, I could never claim that any system is impossible to breach, but security is not like something that you achieve once and you forget forever. It's continuous work. you monitor, review asset rights, model attacks on yourself. Maybe you hire some ethical hackers, right? You conduct internal reviews and add independent audits as a protocol develops, because it's obviously just started. It's gonna be a much bigger thing. But practically, separation is the name of the game here.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, so like also what we just like want to find out is Ava's available everywhere. Yeah, so maybe you have some countries which is restricted to join. Yeah, so like maybe some regions, or it's available worldwide and like everybody can join.
Well, first of all, you need to remember that cryptocurrency is not legal everywhere. Some countries it's illegal, but everywhere uh, y- where it is legal, yeah, yes, you can do that, because Avis was designed as a global product from the very beginning, obviously. Cryptocurrency infrastructure is a beautiful thing, and it allows people to interact with the platform regardless of their country of residence or traditional banking system. So global availability does not mean there are no rules. Again, we don't provide services where the use of such products is prohibited, and we observe international sanctions and the restrictions. So under normal circumstances, registration does not require conventional identity verification, but the platform may request additional information in response to suspicious activity. Again, safety, the number one priority. So Avis Limited is registered in Hong Kong. So the primary support hours are aligned with UTC plus 8 time zone. Okay. And the product itself operates around the clock. And as our audience grows, it will expand support for additional regions and languages. So yeah, global.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. And also, like, I seen that question in the chat as well, but it's also in our list. It's about the support worldwide for those people who build offline, right? And also not just support, it's like question about the events, because maybe you have in plans to work offline, because we understand that for today it's like completely online business. But do you have in plans, let's say, to open offices, to organize some events, to provide something for the leaders, or maybe help leaders to like help that events?
Yeah, yeah, because building a product like this is much more than like launching a website. Okay, so people need to understand how the protocol works, where results come from, what risks exist, obviously, like how to use a platform correctly, with what amount to start. And most of our communication currently takes place through Telegram, YouTube, Zoom, like this. We use these channels to publish updates, explain how it works, and answer questions, because it's global, right? And but we also hold dedicated educational sessions for the partner community, covering the projects, covering the fees and risk management. So as the audience grows, we really want to make that work more regular through open webinars, live question answer sessions, and meetings in regions where active communities are developing. You know, of course. So yes, I would love to meet everybody, shake their hands, but they need to show me something. Yeah, I cannot be. I'm not a salesman, right? I have a lot of responsibilities here. You need to show me results. Then of course I will come down there and support to grow your community, but you need to show what have you already done. But that's fair. That's like with every other business.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, and also like what the roadmap look like. Yeah, so like maybe you have some major milestones which you want to reach, or like you have something in the plans which you can explain to us, like provide for us, like how do your exactly your roadmap look like. You need to unmute yourself, Lee. You
Oh
muted.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. So again, in the near term, we want to make interacting with Avis feel more natural for people who already use cryptocurrency. So instead of mandatory conventional registration, users will be able to connect a wallet, while email or Google will remain additional ways to access the same account. At the same time, well, actually so many things, but really quickly, we will make more information about the Convergence Protocol available without requiring people to sign in, because It's a beautiful thing when you see someone who's maybe a little bit hesitant going to the website, not even have to invest, looking at all the history of losses and trades, winnings, and then believing in the platform enough to invest like not even $10, but 10,000 right now. So we want to move toward that. The next major stage concerns execution. We plan to connect additional sources of liquidity, improve how the trading venue is selected, and gradually add new assets. So every such expansion must pass a separate security review because different blockchains and trading pairs carry different risks. So if Aevos helps someone access one primary strategy today, in the future that person will be able to choose among different approaches, compare their histories, and allocate capital as deliberately as people build an investment portfolio today. So we want ultimately like the finish line at the roadmap. We want Aevos to not be seen as a trading bot, yeah, but as an operating system for autonomous digital capital management. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's great. And also the question for that people, because I see right now we have like 150 people or 140 people on the call, and of course many guys will gonna watch this in the record. So I just want to ask you, like, as the CEO, to provide for the community, and of course for all of those guys who are gonna watch it in the record, what's the minimal amount to start with Aevos? What is the maximum amount to start with Aevos? And of course, like your personal suggestion, yeah, like as founder and the CEO, what is the best amount to start with?
My answer might surprise you a little bit. I wouldn't tell you like, let's go all the way, sell your house. Um, I would advise people not to rush and, study the product, study the dashboard, ask difficult questions on webinars like this, right? And make sure you understand not only the potential profit, but also the risks. Avis was created to make automated trading easier for an ordinary person to understand. And you don't need to make a major financial decision immediately. You can begin with as low as $10. Observe how it works and examine the history of operations and test the withdrawal process, right? Right now it goes up to 100,000, right? But I wouldn't want you to, even if I'm a benefactor of that, and I would be happy, I would be glad that you trust us so much, but I would want people to kind of start slow and small. Look at the platform, check everything out like you did with your team, like for a month, right? And then yeah, we can go big. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely makes sense. I see some question in the chat, like, that what I also like was thinking to ask. It is of course like about the transparency of the trades, because people ask about some broker. It's not a Forex, guys. Like, we don't have, I think, any brokers right here because it's the crypto trading. And of course, like, Lee, how we can just verify? Yeah, like basically I know how to verify because I did, but I want you to tell that to the people how they can verify the transactions, how they can verify the trading themselves, if that possible. You just need to unmute yourself. You muted again. Okay.
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's very simple. You can go on the website, and in the trade execution model, the transaction ID, the TX ID, is the precise hash generated by the blockchain trade settlement. So rather than identifier of any other transaction, so the trade matches in terms of volume and timing, and then this precise thing can be verified. So
Yeah, I
Blockchain
think.
Explorer allows for verification of the network and all of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think even I have it. So like inside the back office, that's what I see. Yeah. So like let me quickly check. Lee, just mute yourself for a moment because I'm echoing. Yeah. So like and just here, that what we see on the blockchain, that's the pretty cool, guys. That what we checked with my team, that what we can go and we can check the transactions for the, I think for today it's more than 6 months. It's more than half of the year where we can go and we can track all the transactions on the blockchain. And that's pretty cool because right here we can just go, yeah, we can check by all of these datas. Yeah, so like right here, and we can find out that, let me just put my video somewhere right here, that on the blockchain. Yeah, so like we just go in right here, we check the transaction, and like we go in straight to the blockchain and we check in the trades. So that's pretty cool because not every platform provided, right? So like where we can go and we can check transactions for the, let's say even like 1 month, 2 months right here. We have for basically like, good period of the time. And that's pretty cool. Yeah. So like you can see, um, 192 days ago. Yeah, so like it's February 15. Yeah, if I'm correct, right? Like Lee, so like you have for today more than 6 months. Yeah, so like you provide this history of trading. Yeah, so like your track record where we can check.
Yes, and that's exactly what I was talking about because obviously we have that $10 starting point where everybody can invest. Like $10, you're not gonna die from investing $10 and losing it. And But the thing is, we want everybody to just come in, look at the dashboard, and look at everything and verify everything. And February 10th is when the protocol started working. So this is what you see. Not only for half a year, it just you can see it from the very beginning. That was in our DNA. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really great. That's because like people like it because of the transparency, because of the fast withdrawals. And I actually have like two more questions, and like I think that's it because we already reached like almost 1 hour of our Zoom, and that's of course information for the people. Well, not even the information, but maybe like your suggestion why people just like should decide to join Aevos, let's say instead buying the crypto. Yeah, so let's say to put like the money in Ethereum or put like buy some altcoins, like your suggestion. Yeah, so like why it's better to go with Avis than like buy the crypto. Let's say right now on this market, maybe like market will gonna change. Like, but your opinion.
You can go buy crypto if you want. It's absolutely your decision. I'm not here to sway you any other way. I'm only here to provide like what we can offer. But I can only say why I wouldn't buy just some altcoin or even Ethereum or whatever. First of all, we are built on diversification. So we are not bound to one or two or even like it's not even the best like investment advice when you get out of economics school is to go buy S&P 500 because it contains 500 best biggest companies in USA, and there's no way a large amount of them are going to fail, right? So this is what we are doing, but we're not only doing like several crypto trades or whatever. We're not just selling packaged like 500 crypto coins or whatever. What we are doing is even much safer than that because we are assessing risk with every trade. And every time that every time if a trade is maybe has the potential to be bigger than all the other trades that we are doing right now, we're not deciding to not do that. So we are protected several times over, basically. And it's enough for you to look at the history to see how it's been going on for 192 days, like you say. So that's why. But decision is always yours, of course.
Yeah, and that's great answer, 100%. So yeah, and of course, like let it be maybe some kind of the call to action because in the day, like I'm not the financial advisor, right? Like we're just checking with my team what is basically working good, and that what you have in Avis is really interested, is really transparent. We like that what we see. But like let's say from you, like as from the CEO, let is gonna be some call to action. Why people should join Avis instead of the competitors. Yeah, because like a lot of the different platforms, but like let's say some call to action from your side. Why
Why
Avis?
AI? Let's start with the reason why we're doing all this. Why are we not working, in some institutional, like in Chase Bank or something like that, Bank of China? Why aren't we not just, a salary man, right? Why we have chose business? Why have we chose trading? Because we want to explore, because we want to know what human mind is capable of. We want to know, like, for example, I had, some people had rich parents. I didn't have rich parents. I started everything that I have, I made on my own, So only with one belief and with a little bit of anger and ambition and everything kind of pent up inside me, I want to know above all else what I'm capable of. I'm comfortable financially a long time already. I have everything I want financially. Maybe last 20 years ago, I had everything that I wanted, right? But this is new frontier and AI, and this is such an incredible opportunity for everyone who really wants to not risk all of it, but still use the best technology available on Earth right now. And that's actively developing. It's a frontier of finance. It's an avant-garde of finance. And it's built in a way that it wants to be your retirement company. It wants to be the last company you'll ever need, right? You're not gonna chase another 15 companies and jump with all of your team from one webinar to another to this to that. This is gonna be it for you, nothing else. And this is our goal.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Lee, for your time and for your answers. I think we just cover everything, what we prepared with the team, and also even I just got some questions from the chat, and we hope that it's just that's gonna be the first one for us, the first Q&A session. But we'll see. Maybe it's gonna be another one. Maybe you can just provide some updates on the Zoom, or maybe also other people can schedule the call with you. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I want anybody who wants a Zoom session for their own teams to contact customer support, and we will see. I am, jumping from one meeting to another. I don't have too much time because obviously, like my sole focus into developing the protocol itself into a thing that it deserves to be. But I'm happy to talk with, you've showed great results. We really like to talk to you, to your team, and we really want to develop that. And anybody else who shows great potential, we would be happy to talk to. So just contact customer support anywhere on, provided links, and we'll have a session like that with prepared questions, or, ask whatever you want. So we'll do that gladly.
Thanks, Lee. Yeah, and and definitely this session will gonna help a lot of the people who join, right? To find out some answers, because I have a lot of the people on my team, yeah, who joined, but they was waiting for the session, right? To get the answers from you, and this information definitely gonna be helpful. So thanks everybody who was today with us. So we are just reached our 1 hour time as we promised it. So we didn't make that too long. And of course, recording gonna be posted, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, Lee, and thanks everybody, guys.
Thanks. See you later.